This is Unlocking Success with Rich Homie Vang and myself, Eric Eclipse. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Can't complain. Another day in paradise. Living the dream as always. Not too much to complain about. Because complain fucking bums. Sorry. But, yeah. Loving it.
Yeah, me too. It's a good day. Always a good day. Happy. I'm living it up.
I feel like I got some extra energy today. I don't know. As of late, with all the sparring and kickboxing training, I don't know, I feel like testosterone levels are heightened or some shit. I don't know. I don't mind it, though. It's a little different to adaptate, if that's the right word to use there. But I like it.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
You know, with the combat training and the increased cardio. Yeah, I don't know. It's like my body is definitely sore. I am tired, but it's as if I'm tapping into a different energy source that keeps me going. Really can't complain.
Yeah. And shout out Warrior Combat Academy up where we're at. Great gym. Pretty much the best gym in the area. There's not really a lot to choose from, but if there were, it's the best. We got great training partners, sparring partners. If you know, feel free to come on down. Always down to train with new people. Get some work in. But today we're going to be looking at some kind of a controversial topic. Talking about kind of the modern aesthetics of dating.
Yeah, we're talking about the modern dating realm, but I really wouldn't say it's modern. It's kind of been the same
since the 60s?
Yeah, since the 60s. But as Eric was saying, you could say this is borderline controversial. So if you don't want to hear anything controversial, you can just click off the video, go listen to one of our other episodes.
Yeah.
And, just give us some interaction. Hit us with that dislike because, you don't want controversial information.
Yeah, okay.
It's all good.
Give us the engagement.
I love it.
That's why I've said before, man, but if you're going to watch a YouTube video, show an engagement, right? You don't have to comment, but I always either like or dislike something. If you don't like what we're pointing out, fucking dislike it. I don't care. At least it's receptive, unless you're just being a troll. Then at least it's receptive of how people feel about the topic, which, that's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll take any engagement. Good, bad, troll, whatever. I'll take it.
Anyway, take it away.
Yeah. So, as we were saying, we are looking at the modern dating scene, basically between men and women. We'll keep it as that, because personally, I believe there is only two genders. There is only two genders, either a male or a female.
Absolutely.
You can transition between one or the other, but you are one or the other. But in particular with the dating realm and dating options, women have far more options than men, whether you like it or not. However, that doesn't mean all of the choices women have are the best ones. If you look at the statistics for marriages, 50% of them end in divorce, and in those divorces, 70% of them are initiated by women. It goes back to us, they have a bunch of choices. They may not be the best ones.
Just to interrupt you real quick, isn't that statistic derived from the income that the male makes? Because I feel like I've heard that, and it kind of is dependent on, I think the number was anybody who makes, or if the man of that household makes less than 70K, that's just those are the stats for divorce rates. Do you know if that's correct? Because I think that's what I heard.
I may have to research on that, but one thing I did read and saw was, say if the woman or if the female in the relationship were to get a promotion, and particularly earn more than the male.
Oh yeah, then for sure that shit's done.
Yeah, for sure.
Because women don't date down. Yeah, I mean, if it's like, that's why. We'll just use this example, as you probably have all heard in the past. Then we can get back on track. I just wanted to mention this. You probably have all heard about this. Jay-Z previously cheating on Beyonce. well, he's not cheating. He's exerting his options, and Beyonce didn't leave him because there's no one better than Jay-Z. And women aren't going to date down, and he's the cream of the crop, you know what I mean? I'm not the biggest fan of Jay-Z, but Hov's a made man, you know what I mean? There's not many other musicians, we'll say, or kind of pop culture influencers that are much bigger than him. Probably the only one that's comparable is Kanye West, but even then, that's a debatable topic. But anyhow, continue.
Yeah, so if we wanted to stay on point with, we'll say, if the female in the relationship gives promotion and, out earns the male, that is more likely than not going to end in a divorce. And if you want a truth bomb and a truth statement, a man with money will change a broke woman's life. However, a woman with money won't look a broke man's way. And you might just have to let that one sit for a little bit. I even say it again. A man with money will change a broke woman's life. However, a woman with money won't look a broke man's way.
It's true. Think about it, man. And like I said, let it resonate for a second. But
yeah. And, if we wanted to connect that with Jay-Z, or, just in general, because people will say, oh, Jay-Z cheated on...
You can use the Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner reference, too.
Yeah, I mean, men don't cheat. They just have sex. Women cheat. And, I mean, if you want to look at how that is based on, we'll say a man cheats on a woman when he starts utilizing his resources.
Yeah, or like he's meeting other chicks, per se, back without kind of disclosing it. He starts doing some sly shit. But the biggest one is what you literally just said, is supplying another woman with his resources that hasn't been disclosed. You know what I mean? Because that's the biggest thing that a man brings to the equation, especially a high-value man, are his resources. And once he starts pushing those out and supplying other women with those resources, then you got a problem. Unless it's been established that that's okay. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll just continue back to the dating options, and we'll say, with women having far more options and not making the right ones. To elaborate on that, just look at all the young single mothers, or even just the single mothers in general, and ask the question, who is at fault for why she's a single mother? It's easy to blame the male, but you have to look at it a little deeper. Who gave birth to the child? Who allowed the egg to be fertilized by the sperm? And if it wasn't consensual, then what was it? Women, they have the ultimate power to choose who gets born and who doesn't get born. And also, who has sex and who doesn't have sex.
Pretty much.
Regardless of laws, morals, religion, blah, blah, blah. It's up to the woman and the females to decide what happens, with their own body, basically.
That's their superpower, you know what I mean? Just like ours is to... Well, it's like both men and women have the power to create. And yes, you need a man for the woman to create, but it's the woman that brings out that final product, as in the baby. And the biggest problem with what you're saying is, and you probably maybe are going to hit on it, is that the women will just say, oh, he was just a bad one. No, you just don't want to take accountability for just being a whore and run around and having sex with a bunch of random dudes. That's it.
Yeah, and
that's it.
Even if you were to say, I'm talking of the female lens, if you were to say analyze this male partner and he sold you a vision, a type of dream, where you're like, oh yeah, I'll have a child with this guy and everything will work out, but then he still ends up leaving, you still need to take accountability for your analytical skills.
Yeah.
Because and we'll just say in the dating realm, you basically got to lie to win. You lie to win. More often than not, you lie to win. We'll say from the male standpoint, they'll seem super into you just to literally get in your pants. But then say if you don't give it up, it's like a flick of a switch. he will turn, repulsive of you because you don't want to give it up. Which is, it's completely fine. It's your choice, ladies. You can do whatever you want. But, yeah, women sleep with who they want. Men sleep with who they can.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's like, we're not telling anyone to do what they, like you literally just said. Every human being has the choice to do what they want. We're not saying that you should stop whatever practices you want to do. It's your choice. Just take accountability for it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, basically it.
Yeah. You can live your life. You can you can have that hot girl summer. You can quote unquote live your best life.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna take that away from you. Because from a male perspective, a lot of times I like that.
Yeah,
I like them hotties. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are the ones that, male standpoint, we kind of just pump and dump. Hate to say it, but promiscuous, or I should get the proper quote. Promiscuous women repulse men. However, promiscuous men attract women. And you can do whatever you want, but if you want to live your best life, sleeping around with a bunch of dudes,
that reality check is going to come about 28, 30.
Yeah.
Or maybe, probably about 30. That reality check's going to hit you, and you're going to start panicking. Because you're like, oh shit, I just got pumped and dumped by X amount of men, and I'm still single with just my dog. The fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, so, you can live your best life, but as we've been saying in a lot of these episodes, you just got to take accountability for your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, that's fine. You ain't gotta.
So, we'll go back to the topic for the dating realm. So, women have far more options than males. But for the male standpoint, there is an abundance of beautiful women out there. You can go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You will find beautiful women.
Go to the fucking gas station. Find a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you can go anywhere, man. You can go anywhere, find beautiful women. However, you can't go everywhere and find an abundance of high value men. Just because they're so limited. So limited that it's pretty much just the top 20 or 10 to 20% of the males being pursued by 80 to 90% of the women. And I think what's the term for that? That's hypergamy. I think that's what it's defined as. Just selection of
hypergamy, the action or marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. Pretty much. Someone that ties status.
Yeah, basically. We all want the best, basically, regardless of gender.
Fuck yeah.
You're gonna want the best partner, but as we've been saying, and with that statistic, there is a very, very small amount of high value men out there, and in that small amount, you have the majority of women going after those males. And perfect example of this would be, even though exceptions don't make the rule, we'll say like all of the superstars, male superstars. We'll say like, Justin Bieber, we'll say like Jason Momoa, or...
The biggest one I feel like is Drake.
Yeah, or Drake.
Yeah. Look at all... You just gotta kind of look at like followers, man. And like, what's the common consensus is you can honestly put them together. It's like Drake and Future, Whenever those two are together, it's like even just separate. There's always a flock of chicks trying to get them.
Yeah, they're doing damage.
Yeah, and it's because they don't even give a fuck what comes with it. They literally just want to one, get attention, and then two, pretty much just have sex with, like, we'll just say Drake. They want just his attention, then they want to have sex with Drake. They don't care what else comes with it. They just want that on their shoulder. It's like, I did that.
Yeah,
at me.
They want that body.
Look at me.
It's a weird flex. They basically just want that body.
And
it's different. It's different between men and women, you know.
And to Drake, he's like, "Come here." But I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as Drake. I'd be like, "All right, come here." But eventually, some people have a different perspective. They don't want a lot of high value men don't want that. They don't want a whore. They want either a virgin or just someone with a low body count. And that's why you see a lot of times like these young girls dating up with older men. It's one, because that older man is a high value man. He has a lot of resources that he can supply to her. Like you said with that analogy earlier, he make that broke girl rich. And she's probably a virgin and or a very low body count, which means she hasn't been used much. Basically his. And it's like, then he doesn't have to worry about where that chick has been, like who she's been around with. Does she have a hiding kid or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, look at him right now. I think, actually, I saw something about it the other day. Kanye West, he's like 44. He's dating he's dating some model. I can't remember her name. But, she's a young, hot model. And it's like, she's dating Kanye West. Kanye West isn't dating her. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Women want men with a future. Men want women without a past. Exactly ties in the point of why you see a bunch of these older, high-value males basically just, picking up all of these, fresh out of the boat 18-year-olds. People can be like, oh, that's fucking disgusting, but 18, that's legal. And, if they were to follow, said laws about sexual intercourse, anything before that would be illegal. Mm-hmm. So basically, low body counts, no past. But then, as soon as chicks start hitting college, it's like hookup culture is so prevalent there. And if you're not hooking up, then you're a fucking prude or a loser.
You're just a bum. And it's like, and also with that, there's a reason why it seems like the majority of people you talk about going to school are women. Because they're not going to get some worthwhile degree. No, man, they're just trying to get ran through, bro. And they're just trying to walk out there with a degree to quote-unquote look good, even though it doesn't do shit. I'm not going to name drop or anything. But I know a girl. I mean, she's a nice girl. But she went to Michigan State, got some biology degree, some shit. And now she's like 60, 50, 60K, maybe even more, $1,000 in debt, and she runs a clothing store.
Yeah, like what was the use of, we'll say typically it takes 4 years to get a bachelor's degree and a shit ton of money and, time, dedication, and, you're just working at
managing a clothing store.
Yeah, you're a manager at a retail clothing store.
Congratulations.
Like you want a cookie? You want a high five?
That's another thing too. Men don't give a fuck about how much a woman makes. I don't give a fuck that you have a dumb biology degree. I want to know whether you're actually worth something. Like, do you provide any value to me? And don't say your degree does, because I don't care. Because I already have everything I need from a resource standpoint. Like, I already got all the money, all the assets, all the opportunities I want and can get. I can probably get more. What I want is a companion, someone that's going to do some of the things that I don't want to do and does them well. And whatever those can be discussed at that moment in time, if you know what I mean. But no, I'm not trying to date. Eventually at that point, I'm not going to be trying to get someone who makes a ton of money, most likely, and flaunts about her stupid sociology degree. I don't give a fuck about that. It's worthless. That's why you're, not the same chick, but just saying the same example. That's why you're working at fucking TJ Maxx, or that's why you're, I don't know. You get the idea. Like, men don't care about how much a woman makes, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll say if say a female were to use said degree and get a job using with it, it still wouldn't matter. Like, we'll have a high value male. We'll take like some super hot chick, super hot young, feminine chick who works at a gas station, a McDonald's, whatever, some quote unquote bummy job, as people would label it. because that high value male does not give a fuck what her occupation is. Yada yada yada.
Because he doesn't need it. Doesn't matter. He doesn't need her income.
Yeah, he's the one that provides the income anyway.
Exactly. Now, it's like they complain about, oh, but I have to cook for this guy. Or I have to do the laundry for this guy. Motherfucker, do you see what this guy's doing for you? He's providing all the clothes you're wearing. He's providing the car you might be driving. He's providing the beautiful house that you may be living in. He's providing the opportunity to go to that spot you never think you'd be able to visit. All those cool sporting events. The list goes on now. You get the idea. And all you gotta do is, one, clean, maybe take care of your kids if you got that at that point, and do some of the bullshit.
Yeah, like, who is providing the food to be cooked by you?
That too.
Who is providing the clothes and, we'll say, the washing and drying machine for you to do those laundry? Who is providing the shelter for you to clean?
Oh, I wonder who. Oh yeah, probably the fucking man. Also, who's the one that built the whole foundation of society that you live in today? I wonder. I'll let you figure that one out. Oh wait, no, I won't, because it's the fucking man. These women act like they don't need us, and I'm not trying to boast about how I built the world. I personally didn't, but I know for a fact that was all the great men before me that did that. Whatever the history may be. Why do you think it's called the Founding Fathers?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's like, do you think Kylie Jenner built the world, or was it Nikola Tesla? It wasn't Kylie Jenner. And fucking Kylie Jenner, she's claimed to make all this money, and maybe she helped with the beginning of that project. But and if I could be wrong on this, and if so, then I'm wrong. But I guarantee you, she doesn't do shit for that business other than put her name and maybe her face around it. And I'm talking about Kylie Cosmetics. That's not discrediting her necessarily. I'm just saying, and once again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Cool. But
yeah, who's doing all the back?
Who's her manager? Who's running all that shit? And if it's her, once again for like the 5th time, good on her. I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. And if I am, so what? I don't care. Or it's like there's probably more to than what the story headline says, but with Melinda Gates and that stupid, or Jeff Bezos' dumb wife, whatever her name was, do you think they really did anything to raise up Amazon and Microsoft? Maybe.
No.
Maybe at the very beginning.
They probably, controversial, played their role. They supported Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos to create those companies.
Yeah, they did the things that he didn't have the time for. But do you think that they were part of the infrastructure of making these billion-dollar businesses now? No. And where I'm going with that is, that's why marriage sucks, because why the fuck should Jeff Bezos' wife get half of his wealth when she probably didn't do shit other than just maybe cook, do laundry, some other shit? And once again, if I'm wrong on that, then I'm wrong. But I don't think I am. Jeff Bezos probably did all the fucking work. That's why, we've heard from time and time again about Western women going to like Tokyo and how they always fail because they don't want to put in the work it takes to succeed in a high intensity environment. And once again, I've never been to Tokyo, but what I've heard, they can't cope with the high intensity output that comes with being a working person in Japan. So they come back. And it's because Western women don't want to fucking do anything. They claim that they want to be these proud, independent women and shit. And if you do, then go do it. That's fine by me, I don't care. But most of the time, they end up failing because they don't actually want to do anything. They just like being a part of the movement because they want to be a good chimp.
Yeah. Or say, if you want to be a career boss babe woman, but let's say you get pregnant. Are you going to keep working while you have that child?
Probably not.
Probably not.
And then, I'm not expecting you to necessarily, because you got to take care of the kid, but...
Yes, but say... Well, we'll just continue on that. Say you don't want to work. well, then who is providing the resources for you to take care of that child and not work? If it's not a high value man or someone, out earning you. Because, we've already said it, if the woman out earns the male, that's not going to be a good relationship. And exceptions do not make the rule. Because, Shot of the Fresh and Fit, we've seen a bunch of chicks go on that show and it's like, oh, well, I've provided for my man a little bit. And then they ask the question, well, are you still with that man? The answer is no.
And very rarely it's yes, but then why are you on this podcast? Dress the way you are if you're in a happy relationship.
Yeah.
You see the dynamic there? And this isn't, this is meant to be it to a certain extent, but this isn't not to take any accountability off of men. Because as the man, you're supposed to be the provider, the leader, and put your foot down on that household, wherever, relationship, wherever it may be, and guide that to the future, you know what I mean? And the second you stop doing that, then these things start to come into play. We're just highlighting the feminist movement and how men are the problem, which in some cases, sure, but not really.
Yeah, you see a lot more sugar daddy vocabulary rather than sugar mama vocabulary. And it's not like there aren't any sugar mamas out there, but
they don't seek them.
Yeah, they're not as prevalent as you would probably think they are. To be honest, I don't even know. I can't even name one. I don't even know one.
Sugar mama? Yeah, I got no clue.
But we'll say like for sugar daddies, who could we say? Hugh Hefner?
Yeah, I think
we could say Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah,
I really don't know how they live their lives, but
yeah,
I don't know if they're providing for these chicks or not, but they got chicks all the time, and if you're gonna want chicks to stay, you got to be providing at least something.
Oh, probably the best one is probably Andrew Tate. Yeah, probably Andrew Tate, like when he was running the cam girl business and shit. Because he has to be the provider of all those chicks. He's managing all of them. I don't know. I've heard some things about Dave. I'm not just great. I don't really know too much about him, but I've just heard he's one of those trust fund kids that wasted a bunch of money on some whores and shit. And if so, that's his given money. He can do what the fuck he wants. I don't care. But yeah, that's beside the point.
Yeah, beside the point. We'll get back to the relationship talk and the dating realm. So here I have an amusement park analogy. This is inspired by Fresh and Fit with their candy store analogy.
Yep.
So after 18 years old, females and women, they can go to this amusement park and they can ride any ride they want. You know exactly what I'm talking about, riding rides. They can go crazy, go on any ride they want, try them all out, figure out what they do like, which ones they don't like, which ones have the most thrill, which ones they don't have the most thrill, slow, fast, yada, yada, yada. You know exactly what I'm talking about. However, for the men, they can't enter the amusement park yet. They have to reach certain standards and metrics before they're able to even go on one of the rides. And this could be like height, yearly income, status, other things that women think they're attracted to versus what they're actually attracted to. And once these men do meet that criteria, it's as if they got a fast pass. They're fucking going crazy. They're riding everything. Like the women, they know, like, oh, this ride's so shitty. Fuck it. The men didn't have the opportunity like the women to go on all these rides. So as soon as they get the opportunity to go, they're going hard. Mm-hmm. They'll ride it fucking five, 6 times. It could just be, the simple carousel, the Ferris wheel. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. They're riding that shit. They're going all in. And that's basically what the modern dating and relationship culture is today.
Yeah, and that's like an average. Obviously, there's outliers and exceptions to every scenario, but on average, that's probably how it goes. Yeah. And
if we want to go back to certain standards and metrics that men have to reach to even for women to even look their way, you can ask the chick, all right, does height play a factor in potential mates you choose? More likely than not, it's gonna be yes. Perfect example would be fucking on Tinder. We just have a bunch of chicks just putting their height on there, and they say, 5'8", if that matters. And then you can see some chicks actually write, if you're under 6 feet, swipe left.
The one funny one too is political views. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah, like from a man's standpoint, or at least, okay, I'll come from my personal viewpoint. I don't even read any of that shit. I'm like, first photo, do you look hot or not? Swipe right, swipe left. Just strictly based on looks. And that, if you look at, the high value men, that are super old, they're looking at the 18-year-olds. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Are you hot? Are you not hot? But for them, it's like, all right, you're young, you don't have a past. Perfect. That's it. Like women, they want all of this criteria. Men, they just want, are you hot or not?
Basically.
And then after they have sex with you, then they'll see, do you provide value to me to stick around? And, it's kind of crazy for me to hear the opposite story of how women, they'll complain like, oh, I got ghosted by these guys, by dudes. Like typically you would say, or from a male standpoint, oh, a bunch of these chicks are ghosting me. But once you hear like, oh, females, they're getting ghosted too, it really changes the whole playing field.
It's funny.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, what happened? They're like, oh, we had sex and then it's kind of it. Like, oh, okay, well, I think that's your answer right there.
The thing is with high value men, they don't want to chase. They don't got time to waste on girls trying to be difficult, right? But sometimes they do. They'll invest a little bit of their resources because they think that it might be worth it, right? And what can happen is they invest their resources, their time. They get the chick, have sex with her, and if it's subpar, then they're like, well, I'll just cut my losses here. That's it. I got what I wanted. It wasn't what I was expecting. Peace out. But it's just because it's coming back the other way, they complain about how this guy's a fucking piece of shit, or he's a whore, or anything like that. It's like, no, you guys do the same thing.
Yeah. And then we can throw in the topic of cheating for there. That man, he just wanted to have sex, and he's dipping. He ghosted you. Say if he were to, come back after it and, start to invest his time, his resources into you. From a male standpoint, that is cheating. But him just, hitting it, dashing,
Or unless like you're his first.
Sex.
Unless you're his first. He doesn't have another chick that he's investing his time and resources in. And if you're his first girl that he's actually putting something towards, that's a good thing. It means he actually gives a fuck about you. And we're speaking from a, once again, a high value man perspective. If he's investing his time and resources into you, that means you're actually not just another crane in that crane box, So if that's kind of what you want, then I would, if it were my recommendation, then I would kind of do what he asks you to. If you want to live that lifestyle. If not, then get lost is probably what's going to happen. So,
yeah, he's just going to ghost you.
Yep. Yeah, I would take that as a compliment if he sticks around.
Yeah,
or maybe a lot of times it seems like maybe they'll give you a second chance. Like, okay, this chick has potential. I'm going to give her a second date. If he gives you a second date and he still sticks around, you're doing something right. So keep doing that, chicks.
He must be doing something right because he sees value.
Mm-hmm. And whatever that value is, it's kind of his interpretation of it. It's kind of different for everyone. But the big thing that annoys me is it's like with all this feminist culture shit is that it seems like it's women deciding what men want rather than asking a man what a man wants.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's like a girl will go up to her girlfriend and be like, I don't know, dude, this guy, maybe just go ask the fucking guy. He's the one that knows what he wants, not your stupid girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, women keep trying to act like they know what men want. Do you, though? You ever talk to a man that kind of suits your interests and see what he actually wants in a woman? You ever done that before? And if so, then you know. But a lot of times they don't. They just assume. They just assume that they think they know what men want, which you don't. They think that they want the chick with the stupid, worthless degree that makes a decent amount of money and that is independent.
Yeah. It's
no, not really.
Yeah, it's like, oh, maybe if I have this degree, I make this amount of money, I have this car, I wear this stuff, then he'll be attracted to me.
No.
You can ask a bunch of men, it's going to be the same answer. Are you hot or not?
Yeah, exactly. Like, ask men that think the way that we do. Don't go ask some blue pill beta simp, because that dude's just always going to think you're the fucking world. Yeah, we don't care. It's like, are you a whore? If not, then cool. Are you attractive? Cool, let's rock and roll. Basically it. And even then, the whore portion, that's personal preference. Me personally, I don't give a fuck. But some men, to my understanding, don't like when a chick's been ran through.
Yeah, like, we could say, like, to some men, one body is enough to turn them off.
Yeah, some men just don't
completely.
Straight up one version. Yes. That's it.
Yeah, like, some men, they don't want more than one. There's, Eclipse was saying he just doesn't fucking care.
Yeah.
I would say,
as of right now, I don't care. That can change, though. As of now, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't care, but yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see. But with that one truth bomb, men don't want promiscuous women. However, women are attracted to promiscuous men. And perfect example is like Drake. Drake gets tons of bitches. And that could potentially be the reason why you want to be with Drake. Is because he has a ton of bitches. And it's typically the same thing as like, we'll say like a single good looking guy gets no attention. But as soon as you get a girlfriend,
then you
have a bunch of these other chicks just trying to come in and ruin that relationship.
Oh yeah.
Just because I think him having that girlfriend is how do they explain it? Is already that I think that validation. Maybe that's the wrong word.
Well, as soon as women subconsciously they see this woman with a man, they're like, how'd she get him? I want him.
Yeah, it's like, well, what does he have for him to have her? Because
if he's just by himself, unless he's very evidently a well-set man, he's nobody. But as soon as he's got chicks with him, a chick or chicks, then they're like, I want to be with that guy. But once again, unless he's very evidently a well-set man, if he's just your average Joe, from a cover perspective, like, just don't judge a book by its cover sort of thing. They just don't even look at him. But as soon as he's got chicks with them, then they notice him. And then they want to be a part of that. Because, like, oh, these other chicks see something within him. I should too. It's the good shit mentality.
Yeah. And
once again, speaking from an average perspective.
We'll just say, to kind of put us on a tangent, but kind of stay with it. We'll just talk about averages. We'll say average male versus an average woman. That average woman has far more options than the average male, regardless.
Yeah.
If we were to pull up our social medias, it'd probably be fucking dry. And
cool.
You just take a average woman, or even below average, or even just the bottom. They'd probably pop into at least some extent.
Somehow.
Yeah, regardless of these metrics and criteria that men look for in women.
Yeah.
Like females, regardless of how they look, their social medias are blowing up. We'll say likes, DMs, Snapchats, yada yada yada. Eric had an example on his one day. He went to the shopping mall and he saw this one chick's Snapchat. To Eric, she was not his type.
I'll tell the brutal truth. All right, so I was just chilling online. I was buying some shirts. Right, there's these two chicks in front of me, solid 3s. I'm very critical on my scale, but like, I know what I like. And these chicks, they were solid 3 out of 10. And the chick on the right, she happened to have her Snapchat open, and that chick's Snapchat, I don't know how long ago these snaps might have been for, but that's kind of irrelevant. That shit was full. All right, this chick was a 3 out of 10, best of 4 in my book, and her fucking Snapchat was popping. Y'all gotta stop being simps for this fat ass chick. Like, what is wrong with you, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? She was not hot whatsoever. But that's the difference, man, between being a woman nowadays, being a man nowadays.
Yeah, and if you want the flip of that story, we'll say if that was a male, 3 out of 4, it'd be fucking Sahara Desert in the summer, dry as fuck. The only snaps you probably get is from Team Snapchat. I mean, I can relate, man. Those are the only ones I got. Like, I see a notification, one new Snapchat, it'd be like Team Snapchat saying like Merry Christmas, yada yada. I'm like, oh. But you can see the differences right there. And yeah, like girls, their social media is blowing up. And a perfect example of these, other than Eric's, real life example, you can just look at any of the quote unquote Instagram models / influencers. Like,
just a whore.
They have they post a picture, and we'll say like 1 minute later it has like at least 1,000 likes.
Yeah, depending on who it is, probably more. Like within the first 20 seconds, probably got 1,000 likes.
Yeah, they're popping off. They're popping off, and it's like I've seen these posts saying like, oh, a naked chick can get a ton of likes. How many likes can this military personnel get? This police officer, this firefighter, whatever. How many likes? We'll say like how many likes can Jesus Christ get?
Yeah,
and it does not compare to these chicks. It does not come close. It will never come close. Sadly.
Other than the few exceptions, man. The few exceptions, that's it. Like the Drakes of the world, the Cristiano Ronaldos of the world, the Neymar Juniors of the world, Messis of the world.
Yeah, the high value men.
Yeah, the notorious one, I mean, those are some of the highest earners in the world from an athlete perspective and a celebrity perspective. Of course, I mean, they're the exceptions. But, yeah, your point is very validated. Just look at... And they just call themselves models. What do you model for? I mean, I guess technically you're your own business, but you're just showing your ass all the time. You don't provide any value.
Yeah, and because...
If that's what you want to do, cool, go for it.
Because they're always blowing up on these social media platforms, or even their phone, with text messages and stuff, you have to acknowledge the fact that you are not the only guy she's talking to.
Nope.
Ever. Unless you're monitoring her interactions. However, that's labeled as toxic masculinity.
I've been in a scenario where that was the case and it wasn't, but as soon as I slipped, then it became that.
Yes. However, again, I do like to say however. It sounds very professional.
It's a lot better than saying but.
There is no such thing as toxic masculinity.
No.
Only toxic behaviors that both genders can inhabit. I don't have any good examples of this, but just let that sit. Let that sit. There are toxic behaviors that both genders can inhabit and practice.
Well, I think really what toxic masculinity is defined as is just what men actually are.
Men.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's defined as. There can be toxic behaviors when using emotion to convey a point. Like, that's not what men do. Men think logically first about a scenario and do it that way. And if they're using emotion to win every sort of battle in the war, that's toxic masculinity. But what's defined as toxic masculinity nowadays, to my understanding, is just kind of that's just how men are wired. Like the things that we just outlined, what we want, that's toxic masculinity. Not wanting the fat chick. Not wanting the one that has tattoos all over her body because she hates herself. Not wanting the one that is a trans. Not wanting the one that supports, I don't know, these movements or whatever. That's toxic masculinity. When really, I just don't want that stuff. Because I know what I want, you don't know what I want.
Yeah, to put it in a layman's term, it's just like men wanting what they want is labeled toxic masculinity. However, when it's women wanting what they want, it's completely fine.
It's the greatest fucking thing. Fine. It's the best thing since sliced fucking bread, man.
Yeah. Like, if you want to go back to the criteria metrics that, you know, certain genders have to reach before they can be considered as potential mates, we'll say like a female, she can want a guy who's over 6 foot. That's fine.
Cool.
But if a man wants a chick who's not fat and overweight,
that's a problem.
That's completely not fine. And it's like these double standards, you know, double standards, females like them when they're, you know, advantageous to them. However, when it's not,
they throw a fit.
And it's toxic masculinity.
And you know what? A lot of this isn't even women, your average woman's fault. Because they're just being social programmed by people behind the scenes to believe these things. Women are being told and led to believe that being overweight and this is okay. And you see all these major corporations putting all these advertisements saying like, yeah, this is cool. I mean, they're just getting fucked in that regard too. It's not even their fault a lot of the times. But they don't even know it. Yeah. They're being told they don't have to be accountable for making these bad decisions.
Yeah, they're just being indoctrinated. And you have to think about it. These companies that are basically promoting it and saying it's okay, who are they run by?
Men.
Probably men.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're basically, you know, we'll say in America with capitalism, but it's more like this evil capitalism.
Yeah, it's not. People say capitalism is bad, but you guys love capitalism. Just the current version of it is very dark and bad. It's very corrupt.
Yeah, like they're making money indoctrinating you. They're making a shit ton of money indoctrinating you.
The harsh, and like, I'm not condoning this shit necessarily for like what's being done to a lot of these women, but hey, I mean, whether you know or not, you're making the choice to go along with it. You think that you're outsmarting the man, but the man's playing chess while you're playing checkers. He's already 10 steps ahead of you, right? You're not going to outsmart some of these people. Some of these people that are at the position that they're in as CEOs of these companies, they're not stupid. You're the stupid one. You can't be stupid to become the CEO of fucking Nike or whatever, just to name one. Are you dumb? I mean, do you even know a thing about what it takes to start your own business? Probably not. But that's a side tangent. Yeah, I mean, I do feel for them sometimes, but at the end of the day, you gotta take accountability. So. And if I were to walk up to you and tell you you're overweight, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just telling you what it is.
The truth hurts. Like we said it, the truth hurts.
Yeah, I'm not.
The truth hurts.
I guess, like, you know, to reiterate again, I've never been to Japan, but it sounds like if you're a little overweight in Japan, they tell you. But it's not because they're trying to make you feel bad. It's to push you to get better. To get better every day as a person. And if you're a little overweight, hey, man, you got a starting point. Great. Then let's get to work. Start cutting some of that off. Because at the end of the day, you got men paying attention to nowadays, right? But the second that all of a sudden in this world, that if you were this height and weighed this much, and men no longer pay attention to you, would you like that? If you were 5'6", 200 pounds, just name that.
Damn.
Well, I know. Do you get the... Okay, I don't know the exact metrics.
Males or females? Females?
Yeah, females.
Damn.
You get the idea, though. All right, whatever, you can just actually probably look up the BMI, is that what it is?
Yep.
So yeah, if you're overweight on that BMI scale, and men no longer pay attention to you if you were over that, how do you think you'd feel? Would you like it? No, you probably want to lose that fucking weight so men would start paying attention to you again. Let alone anyone paying attention to you again. And that's where you're getting fed the lies. Is because right now, you're getting attention for not bettering yourself, but the second you were to stop, you would not like that world. You can't tell me otherwise. And if you do, then you're fucking lost.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's we said it once, we'll keep saying it again. It's a really weird world of delusion.
Yeah.
It's as if you would want me to tell you a lie to keep you feeling good, rather than tell you the truth.
Well, I'm just going to tell you the truth. If you don't like it, then that's your choice, right? I only tell the truth.
Yeah, and it's not like we're going to just be targeting people out of nowhere and it's like, oh, you're overweight, you're fat as fuck. Man.
I am a helpful person. I want to help as many people as I can. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just going to tell you how it is, and if it hurts your feelings, that means it's even more so true. It's like, I've probably used this analogy before, and I know I've said it to you before, but it's like, if I were to walk up to you and say, hey, you're really stupid. Well, you're not stupid, so you're just going to be like, okay, that was dumb. Now, however, if I said, hey, you're really stupid, and you got really offended by it, you know what that means? It's fucking true. If someone were to walk up to you and say, hey, man, you're really fat, and let's say you look like fucking Cristiano Ronaldo, you'd just be like, what the hell are you talking about? But if you're actually really fat, you would take offense to that because that shit's true.
Yeah, or in your eyes, yeah, in your own perception, what they said aligned with what you thought of your own self, then that's the problem. Then you feel something. Then what their statement will resonate with you. Mm-hmm. But if it doesn't, then that's just a person just talking shit.
Yep. Yeah, it's like someone walk up to me and say, bro, you look really fat, you should lose a bunch of weight. I would probably just shake their hand and be like, have a good day, sir.
I'd be like, oh, all right. Thanks.
Appreciate that. It wouldn't bother me because I'm not fucking fat. And if it's like, if someone were to say something to me that resonates and I don't like it, I'm not going to get offended by it. I'm going to say, oh, okay. I hadn't thought about it like that. I appreciate your perspective. I'm going to go work on that now. Because I can take that shit on the chin, right? If someone critiques me and it's a valid critique, I'm going to hear what they have to say. And I'm going to put that to work. Because it's like, oh, actually, I don't like that part of myself. I need to work on that. And if it is, which it's not, but if it were to be losing more weight, then you think I'm just going to sit there, go cry in my room, and complain about something? No, man, it doesn't do anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get out there, fucking hit the gym, put another 10 rounds of fucking sparring, or go on a nice 5-mile run, hit some burpees.
Yeah, do something about it so they don't say those stuff to you. And even then, people are still going to say those stuff to you.
Have you ever heard the thing that Andrew Tate said about depression? And how he doesn't believe it's real?
It was in that one episode of Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how he conveyed it to exact wording, but basically, it's just a saturated way of saying that you don't like something about yourself, but you just chalk it up to depression because you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, I can repeat that again. Depression is something you don't like internally about yourself, and you don't want to deal with it. So nowadays, you're just told that you can chalk it up to depression and take a pill for it. And if you're depressed and you are, use that example with the 5'6", 200 pounds. No, you're not depressed. You're just overweight and no one likes you. But you don't want to deal with it, so you just say you're depressed. It's no coincidence that all of these feminist movement individuals, men or women, look like shit and have mental health issues. Why? Because the things that you believe in and focus on rot your fucking brain, and you don't like it, but you keep telling yourself it's okay, so you're depressed. No, you just hate yourself, but you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, basically it's, it'd be like me saying, oh, I'm depressed, and then you're finding stuff to validate that statement for yourself. And I don't know if this is if this ties in or not. Something I wanted to talk about in a Three Kings episode, a Three Kings Uncensored episode, but I'll put it here. It's in the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. I listened to the audiobook version on YouTube for free. It's only about like 46 minutes. But in this chapter here, it says effect of thought on health and body. I'll just read just a little bit of it. It goes, the body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operation of the mind, whether they be deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. At the bidding of unlawful thought, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay at the command of glad and beautiful thoughts. Oh wait, sorry, I will read this better with better English. At the beginning of unlawful thoughts, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay. At the command of glad and beautiful thoughts, it becomes elothed with youthfulness and beauty. Disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in thought. Sickly thoughts will express themselves through a sickly body. Thoughts of fear have been known to kill a man as rapidly, as speedily as a bullet, and they are continually killing thousands of people just as surely, though less rapidly. The people who live in fear of disease are the people who get it. Anxiety quickly demoralizes the whole body and lays it open to the entrance of disease, while impure thoughts, even if not physically indulged, will soon shatter the nervous system. Strong, pure, and happy thoughts build up the body in grace and vigor. The body is a delicate and plastic instrument which responds readily to the thoughts by which it is impressed, and habits of thought will produce their own effects, good or bad, upon it. That's all I'm going to read, but basically, your body responds to what you tell yourself, good or bad. Yeah. And from here, if we look at the disease, if you tell yourself you're sick, or we'll say in this topic, depressed, you're going to start feeling that.
Your body's at dis-ease. You're not one with yourself. You don't like yourself. Yeah. And I want to double back real quick. What I was just saying with depression, obviously there's people out there who have genuine fucking issues and they need help. I'm highlighting the people who actually don't have it that bad. They just want to be a part of the culture, right? And say they have depression when they're fucking fine.
Yeah, there's like there's clinical depression where it takes a medical personnel to give you that what's the word? To give you that I'm not trying to get any super scientific terms with it. You need like a medical personnel to tell you that you have depression rather than self-diagnosis.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people nowadays, they just want to self-diagnose. Oh, I feel bad. I feel depressed. So that means I am depressed. And then with that mindset, everything that happens to you, oh, this happens because I'm depressed. Oh, I'm depressed. So everything is bad.
You're just like, no, that stuff happened because you chose to not better yourself. That's why you feel like that, not because you're depressed.
Yeah, and we're not talking down to anybody who has mental issues. We'll say real.
Like if you got real mental issues, I'm not targeting you, man. Like I feel bad for you. I hope you get better, but I'm highlighting these people who maybe went from guy to, I say this with air quotes, guy to girl. They do some really weird shit. They love fucking feminist dumb culture. No, you're just bringing a bunch of bad things into your mind, which corrupts your line of thinking, and then you just get fucked up. That's not real depression. That's just you being stupid and doing dumb things and fucking with yourself. Not people who have had genuine traumatic issues in their childhood. I just wanted to make that clear because I didn't want to. Yeah, you get the idea. Yeah,
and we're just gonna put this out there. if you are battling with mental illness and have thoughts of suicide, be sure to reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. You talk to people.
Yeah, and if you're a man, real quick, if you're having issues within yourself, hit up, his name is Ryan Christensen at hypnosisformen.com. I'll throw his website link in the description. Both of us have personally been on calls with this gentleman, and he's a hypnotherapist, and he's able to get rid of some of those limiting beliefs about yourself, thinking, oh, I can't do that. Or, oh, just because they said this, I can't do that. He can change that. So I'll throw his link to his website in the description. If you're someone that needs someone to help you out, he's a fantastic option.
Yeah, a lot of things just start in the mind. Everything basically starts in the mind. Your brain is a very, very powerful tool.
Yeah,
it is working right now for me to make these vibrations, basically, to tell you this right now.
Yep.
And it's the one that is taking those vibrations into your eardrum and transmitting them and transforming them so you can understand.
It's also the one that's allowing you to breathe, to move your hand as you were talking there, to nod your head right now as I'm talking. It's also the one that's allowing me to put my hand out, to say these words. You get the idea. Your fucking subconscious mind, which allows you to do all this shit, is a supercomputer, and if you don't take care of it, like a regular computer, it gets corrupted with bad files, viruses, in which you never, unless you fix it, it's never going to fix itself. And that's what hypnotherapy does, is they go into your subconscious and pull out those bad files that maybe you've always had as a kid, right? And that's, really, this is a whole nother podcast we could do, because it's a whole rabbit hole of how the subconscious brain works. You guys can even look into it yourself. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Like I said, I'll throw his website link in the description. Reach out to him if you guys feel that could benefit you as a whole.
And then another weird transition, but we'll stick with brain, thought formation, and the differences between how men and women think. And we should acknowledge the differences, rather than trying to make everyone the same, because we are not the same. We have total different biological makeups.
Yeah.
Scientifically. And it's weird how they're trying to change that viewpoint scientifically as well. But we should acknowledge differences. And with those differences comes equality. You can't have equality with differences. They just contradict each other.
Exactly.
And a little bit of a tangent, a little bit of a rant, but if there was equality, say, we look at catastrophic events. I don't know why it came to my mind, but we'll say Titanic.
Okay.
The people who were first to get on those lifeboats were the men and women.
Women and children.
The women and children. Why do they say that? It's because they know the children, they can't, fend for themselves, and they know that the females are great nurturers. And if there was true equality, they wouldn't be saying that. It'd be fucking just get your ass on the lifeboat.
First come, first serve, basically. Whoever gets there gets there.
Yeah. And then we'll say with the saying of ladies first. What about men first? Oh, that's toxic masculinity. What about equality?
Oh, but that doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
Basically.
We'll say what about I want the man to open the door for me. Oh, I want the man to pay for our night out, the dinner, the bill, all this stuff. If that was equality, then have the woman pay.
Or it's not even necessarily that, in my opinion. It's like, cool, that's fine. I'll do that. But I want you to do this stuff. And if you don't want to do it, then you don't have equality. You can ask me, if you're asking me to do the things and I do them, but I ask you to do something in return, maybe it's, I don't know, fucking have sex with me that night, and you don't want to do it, that's not equality. Because you can ask for me to do things, but I can't ask you to do things. How's that work? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like, it'd be like, we'll say, from male to the female, it's like, okay, you do the dishes. And they're like, oh, how about you do the dishes? We're like, okay, well, how about you provide the finances to do this? And, say, oh, okay, fine. But if she does provide the finances, we go back to divorce. Why are they getting a divorce?
It's like, oh, hey, you can do the dishes tonight. Hey, you can go do my job tomorrow. No, I'm good on that. Okay, then go do the fucking dishes then. Yeah, that's something.
And it's, with this whole episode, we're just trying to elaborate and open your eyes to basically the real world.
Yeah,
and the real world, and not this pseudo fake world that they're trying to create out here. Because traditional roles are called traditional roles for a reason.
Yeah, people want to tear down tradition. Well, if it weren't for quote unquote tradition, then you wouldn't be talking right now. That's what's worked for thousands of years. However long that humans and whatever else exists here have flourished. This is the perspective that we adopted and that we believe in. If you guys want to keep believing the Disney fairy tales and Hollywood bullshit, man, go ahead. I don't care. You can do what you want. But this is what we think. This is what we believe in. And in our opinions, this is how it actually is. What we've laid out for you today is how things really work. This isn't an attack necessarily on anyone. This is just our perspective on what we think. And when we hear certain things, this is how we feel about them. And it's kind of a rant, but it's a truth rant. I mean, it's the truth of it all. As we always say, do your own research. If you want to believe what we're saying, great. We still encourage you to look into things yourself.
Yeah, and this is reality. This is not fantasy world. The stuff you see depicted in the movies, TV shows, yada yada yada. There's a reason it's depicted like that.
Yeah, you think these corporate CEOs and people actually give a fuck about you? No, they don't. They just want your goddamn money and your attention.
Yeah, because we'll say nothing really comes to mind, but if a movie or TV show were to depict realistic events and things occurring, probably be a really shitty movie. Or even like the ending would be bad. Like examples could be.
You're talking about if a movie was made on how things really are?
Yeah.
It wouldn't even make it to the screen.
Yeah, well, I will say like superhero movies. Well, there wouldn't be any fucking superheroes. And if the bad guy already is fucking taking over, he's probably gonna take over. Like there's not gonna be no knight in shining armor coming out.
Also, why the hell do you think they make Captain America Steve Rogers played by Chris Evans? Or why do you think Thor is played by Chris Hemsworth?
Or Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Why do you think they're played by them and created to look like them? Because they're powerful, masculine men.
Yeah, why is Hulk a shredded,
dude,
green male?
Hulk. It's like, women, do you find those guys attractive? Cool. Would you like them if they were just skinny, scrawny, bum-ass dudes?
Yeah, well,
no.
we'll say like regular Thor versus Fat Thor.
Yeah, Fat Thor is funny, but do you think he's attractive? No. He's not Thor, he's just Fat Thor.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's like, look at original, like pre-serum Steve Rogers compared to post-op. Which one do you like more? Probably post, because it's very attractive, shredded, and the other guy's just a bum, so Yeah, it just proves our point. You guys like attractive, strong men, basically.
Yeah, you might not say it. You might not think you do.
You can lie to yourself all you want,
but you know you do.
And
like I know there was this one YouTube video where someone, I think probably some dudes were like interviewing just random chicks, and they're asking, all right, six pack or dad bod? And I think a good amount of them said dad bod. But I think that is just like the pageant queen PC answer.
Well, yeah, one, it's the PC answer, and two, that actually could be true because a lot of these women want to just have a beta male that they can just use for sex, and then eventually ditch him and don't feel bad about it.
That's what they,
basically.
It's really weird. It's really weird. Like, they say, or saying and knowing what you want are two completely different things. Because they could say they want a beta male that they can walk over. But then, push come to shove, some shit goes down.
And there's an opportunity to go for the other guy that's like a total giga chad. They're gonna take the fucking giga chad all day. They ain't gonna stay with his bum.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all we got. I'll just quickly recap some of the stuff that we've... you don't have anything else to mention, right?
Kind of a little controversial. Fuck it,
Go for it.
Women. I really wish men would stop looking at our bodies as objects and realize we're human beings also. But also women have naked pics on Instagram, social media, OnlyFans, these slutty, suggestive TikToks, basically everything we're talking about. You can't have one of the other. You can't have one and the other at the same time.
No. If you don't want us to objectify you, then wear a blanket all day. If you don't care, then keep doing what you want.
And I know the argument of like, well, I want to like wear this because it makes me feel empowered or such and so forth. But, then take accountability. You're going to get a response for that way.
If someone's staring at your boobs and you're wearing an attractive dress, you're telling me that you don't want that to happen?
Yeah, it's like if, you got some big boobs and you're wearing a top that shows a ton of cleavage and you have a bunch of dudes making comments about your boobs and your cleavage, I don't think you can get mad at that.
No, it's kind of what you want. I mean, there's a reason why, like in Muslim culture, the men have their women wear that because they're protecting their women's beauty from other men.
Yeah.
It's not because they're trying to, like, make them feel like shit or anything. It's because they know how other men think, how other men work. And they know what Western women do. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess before we hit up the outro and we review some of the topics we hit, just let it be note that we're not trying to bash women. We're not trying to bash people with mental health. We're really trying to not bash anybody. We're just trying to state how it is, state the truth.
Trying to help.
And just help you guys and girls out, to look past the fake world that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if you guys have VR goggles on, walking around and seeing a fake world. But as I stated in the last episode for the movie They Live, you gotta put those glasses on and see the world for what it is. Because this world is fucking dark. It's dark. We're living in a dark world right now.
Yeah, it's not to make you feel sad either. It's just the truth.
It's a very dark world.
That's all we're trying to do, is spread the truth about how things really are and help. Trying to help. If you don't want to take our help, then cool, get lost. You don't gotta. Not making you do anything. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like we're not trying to bash anybody. We don't hate women.
I love everybody, man.
We love women, and it's really weird because it's like women hate other women.
Yeah.
You know, they can label us as like misogynistic women haters, but it's as if the misogynists are the women. I want to wrap this up, but we'll say if Eric and we have the same outfit on, and I see him, I go, oh, hell yeah, bro. Looking real good. I like the fit. But if, two females are wearing the same dress, there's conflict right there. There's conflict. It's really weird.
Yeah. Like, oh, that chick looks like a fucking whore. And it's just because she's got that good-looking dude that you want. Maybe. I don't know. It's a weird dynamic. It really is. It's like, I'll compliment you all day, brother. If you're looking good, if you got a nice fit on. Or if you're doing some good things that you deserve like you're bearing a compliment or some sort of reward. Take it however you want. But, yeah, when women that they don't personally know try to be, not try, but show themselves, maybe they're like, they quickly judge them. But, yeah, some food for thought right there.
I'll end it on this. Men talk shit to each other to their face, but behind their backs, talk good.
Yeah.
Women talk good to their face.
Talk shit behind their back. Yep.
And that's kind of it. I'll turn it over to Eric, and he'll review some of the topics we had.
Cool. So, just started off, really this whole thing is about modern dating. It's really what the whole episode's about, with a few other things spiced in there. We kind of touched on how nowadays, particularly referring to women, but this also translates to men just as much. No accountability. People aren't taking accountability anymore for their actions, and they go ahead and blame it on some other people rather than themselves. Women always want to think they know what men want, but just to name a couple things that men do want, we want just someone that's fucking hot and that has a good personality, doesn't complain much, and is easy to get along with. That's really all we give a shit about. We don't care about how much you make, what your degree is. We don't give a shit about any of that. That's all we really want.
Yeah, well, if sum it up, like, men just want sex. That's basically what they want. They just want sex.
For the early stages, yeah, they just want sex. And then eventually, depending on who it is, they might want to tie down. But that's everyone. Every man has their own choice in that regard. We kind of touched on what depression is in our opinions. I'm not going to say much other than that. If you want to find that out, don't know exactly when we started talking about that. Maybe the 40-minute mark. You can go listen to that part yourself and listen to it. I don't want to discuss that anymore. Then we touched on how men and women aren't the same, because they're not. There's no shame in that. This man can lift a lot more weights than this woman can, just your average, taking it from an average perspective. And this woman can design a house way better than this average man can. We're not equal in that regard. We're wired differently.
There's pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses for both genders.
There's a reason why the men build the building and the women design the building. They add the final touches to it. And then lastly, I'll link in the description, but I just want to throw in Ryan Christensen's website, Hypnosis for Men. If you're a man, maybe even female, I don't know what he takes as far as clientele, if he just does men. We'll say just men, and you feel like you're not getting the most out of your life and you have a lot of issues, he might be able to help with some sort of hypnosis. So go check him out. He's a really great guy. Like I said in that part of this episode, we've both been on calls with him and talk with him. So I can assure you he's going to get the job done if you go seek him. But other than that, I'll turn back over to you and we'll get out of here.
Alrighty, boys and girls, be sure to like or dislike, comment your thoughts, good or bad, and subscribe to the channel. Also ring the bell so whenever we upload a new episode, you'll get notified and hopefully watch before it gets shadow banned or deleted. This one, maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
I don't know.
At 10 subscribers, as promised, we will release the first episode of Three Kings Uncensored. I believe we're currently at 7. So we only need 3 more. So come on, guys. You're going to want that knowledge. That stuff will probably get deleted.
Yeah, eventually we have yet to really get up and running. Keep fucking forgetting to do that. That's on me. We'll eventually set up a Patreon, and those will probably exist on there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's probably, I'll say accountability. It's both of us. I have it written down here that we have to get this Cash App created, learn how to create the Patreon, because that's where we're going to be putting most of the Three Kings Uncensored. Also, as promised, at 100 subs, we will upload our first video recorded podcast. We've had a couple people so far ask us if they could be a guest on our podcast. So we'll say 1,000 subs, we'll have our first guest, but that's subject to change. We'll just feel it out, keep going, releasing episodes. But I know the guests that have been interested, they do have some great backstories and stuff that will definitely enlighten you and open your eyes to success stories and how they achieved their own.
Yeah, just to briefly mention it, one does a sales background, the other has a lot of fitness background. So just to name briefly what they could bring to the table.
Yep. Other than that, be sure to follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Unlocking Success. No G, because that's where we keep it. On here, you can follow me, Rich Homie Vang, on basically everywhere. You can follow Eric on Instagram at Eric_Eclipse, Twitter at I Am the Eclipse. And if you want to train MMA, combat, we've already gave a shout out to Warrior Combat Academy. I say you do a simple Google search and you'll be able to find that out.
Yep.
And yeah, if you come to a class and we're there, then cool. We'll see you there. See you in person. But that's the show. Hopefully you enjoyed and are one step closer to unlocking your definition of success. We love you guys and girls. Appreciate all the support, good or bad. Take care. Keep striving. Peace out.
Peace.